Chris Stuckmann's Shelby Oaks delivers a haunting and immersive atmosphere that immediately pulls the viewer into its world of supernatural dread and psychological unease. Coming in at 60% on the tomato meter, 65 by the audience. Let's talk about it. Does it earn that? The film's moody cinematography is the standout here. Stuckmann knows how to use atmosphere to build tension, to build horror, and it's cool to see that being showcased here. The film Shelby Oaks tells the tale of a woman's desperate search for her long lost sister um, that goes missing, and upon realizing that the imaginary demon from their childhood may be real. Okay, so guys, that doesn't really sum it up. Let me give it to you straight. Basically, her sister is part of a paranormal team that does investigations, and they go to this town called Shelby Oaks where the whole team goes missing, and they've got some footage to go on, and it's about her trying to figure out where's my sister. And for 85% of this film, it is good, really good, but it kind of fails in sticking that landing. Stuckmann, as I said, has we know that he's a YouTuber, right? We know that he's got this background of uh, reviewing movies, and he's got this passion and love affair for movies. So we know that he should know his stuff, especially when it comes to horror, and that's showcased here in Shelby Oaks. And while I didn't like the ending, I didn't think that the ending worked. I felt like it kind of came off the rails. It felt it felt quick. It felt like it was squished in because they try to throw a whole bunch of stuff at you at the end, and it's gonna frustrate some people because it'd be like, well, where did that come from? And that's where I'm trying to say that it quite doesn't stick its landing. Um, Shelby Oaks, it feels like it's a slow burn, yeah, horror that rewards some of its storyline, but it's just I wanted it to be like, maybe that's the problem here. I wanted it to be something uh, else than what it was trying to be. And if I look at it in the essence of does it accomplish what it was trying to set out to do, I think it does. I think it does. So I can say that if you are looking for a cohesive story that does give some answers, it doesn't in others because it tries to shoehorn in stuff where it's like, okay, just out of the blue, I'm going to get up in the middle of the night and I'm going to drive to a prison that I've got to break into where there could be dogs running around. And it's like, do I buy this? Well, we have to for the story, right? Uh, Shelby Oaks really struggles to maintain that momentum through the finale. Uh, the story's mysteries build towards a payoff that I think, as I said, it will work for some. It just didn't quite deliver for me the full way. The final act feels rushed, and it is disjointed because it's like there's questions that you're going to have, and they don't answer all of it, right? And some of those themes get a little underdeveloped. And despite the stumble, though, Stuckmann's debut remains promising. I think this is a good start. I mean, even James Cameron started off with Piranha 2, The Spawning, right? Uh, it's a film that proves that he does have the eye and he does have the passion for horror, even though its landing is it's not as strong as the takeoff. So, with that being said, let's go over to the score sheet here and start filling in some numbers for Shelby Oaks. Acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points each. Cinematography and score, 1 point. I can't pull any punches here. I can't. Sullivan here does a great job. She carries the film. Camille Sullivan, right? She does a great job. In fact, I'm going to give her 1.5 right there. That's it. Directing and story, technical aspects. There's a there's a good use here of aspect ratios, of showing us different aspect ratios for when they're showing us footage from uh, the cameras and stuff, and then actual theatrical wide stuff. So the framings and everything, you could see that he was pulling from a lot of familiar styles, which I appreciated, and that's where you could see, you can acknowledge that, okay, no, he knows his way around horror, right? So the technical aspects are done well. I'm going to give, I don't know, maybe I won't give a full point, 1.5. I'm just going to give 1 for now. But the story itself, the premise is interesting, and uh, I wanted to love this film until it started to try to give us some of the answers. And I felt like the answers just were not as satisfying as what the whole intrigue was all about. It was like, what's going on here? Is it ghosts? Is there some demonic thing? And then when things start to be explained, it's so far out there. It's like, did we establish that before? And I don't know if I like that. Oh, and that's at the end of the movie. Right? So that's what I mean by pacing. I really wanted to like this film, and maybe it needs a second viewing for me to say I'm going to be fully on board with this. But for right now, I'll reserve the right to come back to these two. I will. Cinematography, though, I am going to give a full point to, because, as I said, they do use the aspect ratio to show you the difference between the footage and the stuff in the time differences, right? So I liked all that stuff. The score, I think people could like the score. The score is serviceable to me. It's a horror soundtrack. It does use strings and all that stuff to elevate tension and mood. All of that stuff is effective. I don't know if this is a soundtrack that I would want to sit down and listen to on its own. So for that, I can't give more than that. We're sitting at 5 out of 10 right now, and it's going to be higher. It's going to be higher than that. I want to go over to the tomato meter here and take a look at what some of the other critics are saying and fans for Shelby Oaks. Because 60% there by critics, 65% by the audience. We need some answers here. LA Times. The horror greats always knew how to mix the schlocky and the soul churning. Let's say Stuckmann is still in the training wheels phase. Now, I hate to almost agree with that, but he knows he's got a good base. And I think the next one that he does is going to be just awesome, right? All right, a witchy crone, a possible incubus, and an abandoned amusement park add up to not very much in Shelby Oaks, a derivative and dogged horror movie that reverts to rote with wearing regularity, New York Times. Oy. So the critics are not kind to it. Audience, though, boring, terrible acting, not scary at all. Well, no, I can't agree with the acting. The acting is good. Good suspenseful moments throughout the film, but overall, it just felt like something was missed. Yeah. Because maybe what the payoffs were just weren't being set up properly by the mood. Let's go over to the critics here and see if we can get some people. Jeremy Johns didn't like it. Wow. It comes across as a bit indulgent at times. And that's maybe that's because there's just things in here where it's like, well, let's have her go into the prison by herself at night with not having any kind of self-protection. It's like, what are you doing? There could be transients in there. There'd be like homeless people or squatters. You still got to protect yourself, right? Robert Abele. The horror greats. Oh no, we already saw that one. There's got to be somebody else in here that we know. Let's just take a look quickly, and hopefully something will jump out. Bibiani. It's that rare horror film that's scarier if you have it on in the background while you're doing a Sudoku puzzle than if you're actually, watching. No, I can't agree with that, Bibbs. I think if you watch it on the big screen, you will buy into the atmosphere. If you're watching it on your phone, then I guess it's going to be hard to get sucked into that atmosphere. But that almost seems discourteous there, saying that you would rather be playing a Sudoku than watching this film. I don't know if I can agree with that. Culture mix. Shelby Oaks is an adequate horror movie that falls short of being great because of its derivative story and weak ending. So again, even though they liked some of the stuff in there, they're acknowledging at least some of the ending, which echoes what we've been saying, right? The movie's mystery about the search for a missing woman is more suspenseful than scary. Yeah, and that's the intriguing part. Like, you want to figure out what happened to these people. Where did they go? Is there ghosts involved? What's going on, right? Okay. And then there's this. I see other critics out there, and I see people getting on them, that are other YouTube critics, trying to say that, oh, they're just giving it a pass because they're YouTube critics as well. Guys, I'm trying to give it to you straight as well, right? I'm not going to be somebody who's going to be, well, it's Stuckmann. He's a YouTuber, so we got to stick together. No. And I see that people are trying to label other people like Cody Leach here like that. Um, that's not for me. I don't think I would. And Sean Chandler. People are getting on them for being uh, like soft on the reviews, but I don't think so. Like Chandler says, a strong directorial debut from YouTube film critic turned filmmaker Stuckmann. The movie clearly and seamlessly blends true crime, found footage, and supernatural horror. It does. Um, it does. I think it does. Is there? Anybody, I wanted to see if Perry Nemiroff was here, but I guess she's not. Oh, Matt Donato's here. Okay. Shelby Oaks is a horror procedural that tries to be anything but routine. And while some of the film's atypical flourishes score higher than others, it succeeds as a substantially creepy genre experiment with scares and soul. It does have scares. Um, but those scares are better done and executed. Like Stuckmann does it. He knows that the scarier stuff always happens up here. And when we actually see some of the stuff that is behind what's going on here, behind the disappearance, it becomes less scary. And I maybe would have not shown any of that, because then we get into, well, prop department, makeup department. And it's like, um, that needed to be established better in the beginning that we were going to go that route. I think, right? Because the opening scene should have been a bit more of, well, if we're going to see the far out fantastical stuff, that should be maybe the opening sequence. And this movie falls into a little bit of a trope of uh, a really long opening scene. When you think the movie's done its little opening blurb, it's not till like 20 minutes into it where we're like, oh, no, now the opening credits are happening. The only other movie that I've really seen do that, like had a 20-minute opening, was The Empty Man. And maybe that's where he was taking some of the inspiration. Uh, they do take a lot of time to establish the paranormal investigators and what could possibly have happened to them. And that's basically the entire opening act. Except the opening act feels like it's just the opening sequence before the titles, right? There's some minor things in there, but it starts off with a really intriguing premise, and I would say it's a good start. Stuckmann, keep at it, dude. I want to see more of your work for sure. It's not a swing and a miss. It's not, and my score sheet somewhat reflects that. Uh, but let's finish it out here, and let's talk about it. Watchability factors out of 2 points. And if you are a Stuckmann fan, if you are a horror fan, you'll definitely be wanting to check this out at least once. But going to the story here, I got to knock it down again because of that ending, because everything kind of wraps up just like that. And there's things in here where it's like, this person was just, you went through so much trauma, and then all of a sudden you're going to trust them with a responsibility that you should not be trusting them with, but you're going to do it anyway. That kind of thing, right? It's just like some of that stuff. It's a little bit, but I would probably watch it again because I do want to. I do want to give it a second chance. I do think that there's some value in here, and it's just curious to see. So score. I think I will. The score does, it does serve the movie. So the score I'm going to give a full 0.2, and that gives us 7 out of 10 for Shelby Oaks, with the highlight being the actress Camille Sullivan, right? That's her name, Camille Sullivan. She carries the film, and she's a good actress. She really does, and she needs to be a good actress because she carries this on her shoulder. Oh, she was in Hunter x Hunter. Um, Hunter x Hunter was that movie with Devon Sawa. He made a bit of a return there, and Nick Stahl. This is also kind of like a horror movie. If you don't know how this movie goes, this movie they're like a family that lives out in the woods, and then this transient comes along, played by Stahl, and wreaks terror on them. And she's good in this film. And this movie gets dark too. Hunter x Hunter gets really dark. She has to go to some really dark places. And she's got to go to some dark places here in this movie as well. And I think it was a good casting. So the people that were complaining about the acting, no, I can't. I'm not on board for that. I won't stand for it. Not here on this channel. Mirror Domains. All right. So, guys, if you like this kind of thing, we just reviewed the Frankenstein movie over on the review channel. So if you like this thing, you like horror, you want to talk about this, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. 7 out of 10 for Shelby Oaks, right here on Mirror Domains.